Hello, Isaac. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. We're checking out some of the new tools in Restream tonight. So the little countdown thing is a new thing that they've added. They've got some new tools that I'm going to be digging into, trying to figure out before our next stream. Anyway, enough about that. Who do we have on the show tonight, Isaac?
We have our favorite Chad of all time, Chad Elkins from 25th Century Games. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
That's right. He's so much our favorite Chad that I have disavowed all knowledge of other Chads in my life.
Samesies.
So, yeah. I've had to get rid of him. Can't have multiple Chads in my life. Just one.
We got him? Do we have him? Is he there?
He's here. Can he hear us? We don't know. Can we hear him? No.
Yep. He's thinking about it. He's deciding if he wants to join the show or not.
That's true. That would be really bad if he was just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And left right then. So that would be terrible.
You know, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened to us.
That's true. So,
hey, there's Jacob Kuhn join us.
Jacob,
resident Ohioan for now.
That's right. Hey, I'm super. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So all right, we got some comments. Old Spork Eye, new tools, woo! And then Jacob, I'm really excited about seeing you at Origins.
Have you been a couple of years. Yeah, you've seen him before.
Yeah, that's actually where we met. Playing games and laughing at each other.
Perfect. So yeah, a lot of laughing done at you.
That's true. Yep. Is he a hanging Chad?
He is tonight. He's hanging out with the game chat here with Isaac and Ryan.
The hanging Chad.
So. Hanging out between two ferns, what I'm doing.
Oh, man. There we go. I enjoy being the fern to your left, sir.
I'm the fern to the right. So
do we have a topic tonight, Ryan?
We do. Origins is coming up, and so we're preparing for it. I've got my handy list of games that I want to see and check out, and we're going to be talking about some of our experiences at Origins. Chad is a staple at Origins each year, and we love hanging out with him, going by his awesome booth at 25th Century.
Yes,
so
sir.
We'll be talking about all of that tonight.
Yes, sir. That is the plan. So we big hugs are good from Jacob.
Yeah, that's right.
So our opening question, and we'll round robin it here, starting with Chad. When non-board game people, you talk to them about board game conventions, maybe people, family, friends.
Yep.
For me, it's patients sometime. Where are you going this weekend? I'm going to a board game convention. How do you describe it to a lay person?
Well, right after you say I'm going to a board game convention, and the first response is, what? And then you got to repeat, I'm going to a board game convention. And then you can give them the correct answer. But that's usually the first step.
Repeating yourself.
Yeah, because they just have no idea what the concept, what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, basically I just tell them it's like you're going to a really large high school cafeteria full of people. And right next door is a huge store. And that's pretty
There we go. That's pretty good.
That's perfect. I love it.
It's pretty good.
I do want to point out, I like the Bob sticker on the top of your laptop.
Yes, I've got my Bob sticker.
Just get enough. There it is.
Yeah, just a little bit of Bob. That's all we want.
Not
too much.
Not too much.
You see the new sticker on my laptop.
Is that the foil one, or is that the...
No, that's the Ryan Con. That's my birthday. I made a logo for my own birthday.
It can't just be his birthday. He has to also make it a convention.
Yeah.
Is that the RyanCon 4? Was that this past weekend?
Yes, that was this weekend, the one that you skipped out on. But
I wanted to come. I wanted to drive down there, and I told Aaron some of my in-laws came back in town. They were out of the country all year, and so they were coming through, and so we went up to Lake Lanier and saw them for the weekend.
You're still getting a sticker. I've got a sticker right here reserved for you.
There you go. I'll rep the RyanCon.
There we go. I thought your question was interesting. So I wrote down a gathering of nerds who are looking for good food and fun times. So I feel like that.
It also sounds kind of dirty. I'm not really sure.
It also does.
Definition for
if that was written on a bathroom wall.
Yikes indeed. So we like I said, I describe it and I'll talk to people, and usually like in a patient, like, oh yeah, I play board games. I had a patient this week that asked, and he said, well, what kind of board games do you play? And I always throw it back to them, like, why don't you tell me what kind you play? Because I've got a lot. And I said, I'm going to boarding convention. Well, what's that? And I always just call it nerd camp. I said it's a chance for me to see friends that I don't get to see a lot. I see 3, 4, 5 times a year, and we just get to hang out, stay up really late, play games, prank each other, and eat really bad for us food that
absolutely
we have to make up for with activity and exercise afterwards. But nerd camp has always been my go-to. So similar.
It's a good description. So
you say make up with it with some exercise, but on a typical convention weekend for me, like I probably log, I don't even know how many tens of thousands of steps. Like
that's true. That's
4
true.
or 5 days. So
when
I come home, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit down.
Yeah, and you're on your feet for most of it.
Yeah, you can stand up all day, right?
So we're talking about the summer board game.
That's Chad's house that has the birds outside.
It's not me. I'm in the basement.
It sounds super peaceful and relaxing over there.
It is me. It's I got the door open out to the the back garden here, and
living that life, man.
It's beautiful. I love it.
That's
very
good.
serene.
It very much is. And then you have us in your ear.
And I need it if I'm going to sit here and look at y'all.
Sit here for an hour.
So we're talking about board game convention season. It's the start of the summer here in just about a week, I think, is the official start of summer. And Origins is often, for all of us, the first big one, at least for me, into the summers we roll in. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about what Origins looks like, as all of us have been at Origins. We all have met at Origins. I'm like 99% sure for both of you. That's where I met you.
Yep.
So how many Origins have you attended, and how do you think it's changed over the years?
Go with Chad first.
Why is it always me first?
Because you're the
guest. Guest goes first.
Well, I feel like I'm a guest.
That's true. You've been around here for a minute.
I'm subjected to being here.
It's more of a prisoner situation.
Yeah, it's a Senate. It's like community service. So
that's true. Twice a year.
That's about right.
I forgot the orange vest. So I think I was trying to. Yeah, you asked me that, and I was trying to figure it out, and I need to go probably look up. The first one I went to was when Space Explorers came out. So I want to say that was like maybe 2017, 2018.
I think 18.
So I remember that was like Andrew Smith and I from Gold Seal split a booth because like I just had Space Explorers releasing that summer. He had Tricky Tides, releasing that summer. And then I just had like Christmas Lights and that, which was nowhere near enough to split to have like a 10-foot booth just for me, So, and he just had Tricky Tides. I think that his Honey Wars game, and so we're like, oh, we should just split a booth together, and we literally just set up 2 demo stands on each corner of the booth with a stack of games behind us, and both just sold them, right there.
Yeah,
first show.
Nice. We, I think that was also our first show. So that would be 6 years, 6 times going.
Right. 17-ish, 18.
Yeah. So that was our first time. I think for the way that it's changed for us. So the way that it's changed for Chad, I'm going to speak for you, man. Your booth is like crazy. You got like 1,000 games. Like people are wanting to get their games in your booth. It's really awesome.
10 by 20 booth. So double the space. And what hasn't changed. So Andrew and I still share a booth. So Andrew is rides up with me, and maybe put Gold Seal games in the booth as well. He and I work the whole convention together, and
that's good,
which is great because it's we both can help each other out for all the set, load in, load out. But so the booth size definitely a lot different. Number of games in the booth definitely a lot different. Most people don't know who 25th Century Games is, but some people do, which is different from that first year. So which is also nice. But that's certainly a big change for me.
I think where it's changed for us is that first year. I felt like the first year at Origins was us trying to say, hey, how's it going? We would love to cover your game, and trying to prove that we can make good content. Whereas now it's like we've been making mediocre content for 7 years now, and now people trust us with their mediocre content, with our mediocre content. But no, I feel like now it's more like it feels like family when you go to Origins. So when we go, we're not constantly trying to feel like we have to work and build relationships and get disappointed. Now it's more like we get to see all these really amazing people that we've gotten to know over the years, and we get to see really amazing games. And so that's changed a lot. And like, it was tougher those first couple of years because it felt 100% like work, and now it's like 60% work. So
no, it still feels like work, but the one
for you it does.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So you brought up a good point. I think the number of people you start to know and see regularly, like there's a comfort level that like increases every year because you do know more and more people, but that first year, Andrew and I were just like, we don't know anybody here, kind of a thing. And then now, now it's knowing more people, not only just content creators, but other publishers and just other gamers who I see regularly. Like, that's going to these shows year after year on a kind of regular basis. There are people that, attendees that you just get to know personally. Whether it's Con or whether it's Origins or it's Gen Con. And because they come up and they talk to you and you get to know them, and that part is also just a really cool evolution of the more you go, the more you put in, then obviously the more you get out, I think, from just a comfort standpoint.
That's true.
For sure. Yeah, our first Origins was, because it is close for us, it's like a couple hours away, when we were just starting to play games. And we were hanging out with the Abercrombies, and our kids were all real little, and we went on a Sunday, like Sunday family day, and we're just like overwhelmed at everything in there. That was 12 years ago. This will be my 12th Origins. And then the next year, Gina and I were like, let's go for a couple of days. Let's do like a Saturday, Sunday, and then let's go for 3. And then, that grew into like, we're playing games, and it really was just us, like our friend group. It's where I got to know Jason and Becky. Oh, speaking of which, today's Jason's birthday. So happy
birthday, Jason.
Oh, happy birthday, Jason.
I'm sure this is not at all what he's doing right now on his birthday, but when they watch this later,
we're actually very disappointed in you, Jason. I hope you get this today.
But we got to meet them. But then there was a transition for me, because then I started playing Dice Masters with our local group. So then Origins became a competitive arena for me. I was just there to play one game over and over, and that's all I did for 5 days of the convention. That lasted 4 or 5 years, and that transitioned into board games and getting to meet other people who did board games. And because we were just in our little cubby of people that we knew from playing a CCG, and that all expanded out. And
I do think about the people who come there for one specific game or one specific thing. The
trains,
probably the loudest, the wrestling card game. That's always there. That you can hear the bell clearly as they're screaming, and it's, some people go there just for one thing.
Now we have puzzlers, because there's this big puzzle push, right? And so people are just coming there to play, like do puzzles and do competitive puzzling. And so like there's a lot of things for everyone, and like there's people that are just there to do RPGs, right, or LARP, and so I've kind of experienced the wave of that. And like you said, first getting into board games, it was like, I got to meet some people and find some companies that are willing to take a chance on me. Origin is a good chance for that, because there are some smaller companies that are just kind of cutting their teeth out there.
And it's cool to see how companies have evolved. I know some companies that I met them because like I was passing by a table and something looked really good, a piece of artwork or something. I stopped by and they're just there, just hawking the game, trying to get people to play. And then 2 years later, they've got a booth in 3 games, and it's really cool to see the evolution of companies. I'm sure that, Chad, I knew you personally at the time when I saw you at Origins. So it wasn't like, it was one of those things where a person who just passed by your booth that first year, and then maybe they took a couple of years off, and then they're going to pass by the 25th Century booth again. They're going to be like, what happened? Like, this place blew up, all the games that you're publishing. So it's wild to see.
Origins is interesting because it's probably the biggest convention that if you're a small publisher with one game or just want to demo and have your own booth and demo your one game, Origins is probably one of the largest ones that you can actually get a space in, right? So there's, back when, for a little while during COVID, it was a little different with Gen Con, but pre-COVID, back when I was trying to get in Gen Con, you couldn't just get in. Like you couldn't just say, oh, I want a booth at Gen Con, and you magically had a booth at Gen Con. There was an application process. They only let in a handful per year into the little entrepreneur section, and then there was no guarantee necessarily you're going to get renewal opportunities. The Origins is one where, like, you can, if you want to go to Origins and have a booth, you can pretty much get one. I think that's, for me, that was the first step outside of probably Southern Fried Game Expo here in Atlanta. Was the first convention I did. Just a table, and it's funny. I look back, I still see the picture come up every now and then, like in your time hop thing, where it was like me sitting at a table with like the Atlanta map puzzle and like a QR code to go back Christmas lights on Kickstarter, I think, at that time. So, and then 2 years later, or a year later, this was 2 years later, to be at Origins and like to have that stage change where it's a little different from like a vendor hall standpoint than like SFGE. And then, of course, obviously evolving into Gen Cons and things like that. But Origins is, for a lot of publishers, is your first big step from like a size convention standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think you said you had Christmas lights, right? That first time you were out, was that your
first year at Origins? Christmas lights was already available. Space Explorers, I think, was like releasing that summer. It'd already been on Kickstarter, fulfilled, and then I guess that was the first time it was like publicly available. Like I think it retailed I think shortly after that, like July or August or something. But it was pretty much just the Space Explorers show. Just like with Andrew, it was just a Tricky Tide show. That's literally, we just had 2 pop-up banners stacked on top of boxes behind us, one for each, and then that was all we had, and went through.
When I remember looking for Christmas lights because of the connection we had with Randy, who did the from our channel, and he's like, I got to write one of these themes for it, and they're like, oh, what is this game? And so those connections early on. That's cool. Like, I got to find this and support Randy. So
that was Randy was the Game of the Sidekicks connection to obviously to unfortunately meet you.
This guy.
Unfortunately, I've had to become your friend.
Speaking of great memories, what is your favorite Origins memory or story, or something that really sticks out for you? Other than meeting myself.
Yeah. I mean, clearly meeting the two ferns here. Probably, honestly, I think probably one of the coolest memories of Origins. Origins is also very different because I think you can actually congregate. And it's easy to meet people. Gen Con, I feel like,
for sure,
by the time you finish dinner, you're like, hey, where y'all at? Like, oh, we're over here at this hotel. It's like, well, I'm over here. I'm like a mile from you at this point, just to walk around the convention center. Versus Origins, pretty much everyone, there's spots you can hang out like in the center,
Yep.
I was one of the probably best Origins memories, I think, was one, I don't know, it was a pre-COVID year, like post or during COVID. It was one of the nights when Chris had a meetup in one of those rooms at one of the nights. Chris Goodlip at Charity Board Gamer had like a meetup thing. And it was really packed. It was like way more crowded than the space.
This was the year after COVID.
Yeah, and so like a bunch of us just wandered up and found a room upstairs.
Yep.
And it was COVID because remember, everyone was still in mask at that point.
Yep.
We go upstairs and we found like a private room. It's like event room. We just kind of walked in and just sat down and took over multiple tables in the back all together and just sat around and just we're able to relax and just play some games and just joke around. And I think there were several folks that were there that I got to meet and get to know a lot better that now I see and hang out with multiple conventions now. So I think that was
the night that the first and only time I've ever won Hamster Roll. So I remember
the first time I actually played Hamster Roll was at that was that night, I think.
That night, yeah.
I was dragging it around saying, "You gotta play this game.
Play Hamster Roll.
It's so good."
Everybody's like, "Shut up, Isaac! No one's playing.
Leave me alone. No one wants to play your dumb games. It's not even in English."
That's so funny. So I did all the mushy, sappy stuff last year. I'm going to go back to the year that Century Spice Road, the second one, came out, and Welcome 2 was also really big that year. And so we were still early in our channel, and so Welcome 2 comes out, and I'm super excited about it because the art style, I really connect with it, love flipping rights, and I had to get a copy of Century for Bob because Bob was just a coworker at the time. He wasn't helping us with the channel at this point. And so I ran to go get a copy
Bob
of
actually
Century.
helped with the channel?
Well, this was before he did help for the channel. So, hey, Rick wrote a preview today, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Good job,
Bravo.
Rick.
So I'm getting Century for Bob. I run over there and I told Aaron, I said, whatever you do, just get me one copy of Welcome 2. I don't care how you do it. Just please, because we had heard it was super limited. And then she gets there, she jumps in line, and she's standing there. And this person says, okay, hold this. And they give her a sign that says end of the line. And she was like, what? And he was like, you're the 25th person. We only have allotted 25 per day. And the person behind her gets in line and says, oh, my mom's been really sick, and she was really looking forward to playing Welcome 2. And she looks at him, she goes, I'm sorry, and she turns back around.
That was the first time I met Aaron.
So yeah, was that you?
No.
That would have been great if it was. Yeah, so that was just so funny because she comes walking up to me, and I'm like, you actually got it? Oh my goodness. And she hands it to me. She said, some guy was telling me his mom was sick, and like he really wanted to get that for his mom. I just said, I'm sorry, and turned back around. I was like, you're cold-blooded. Thank you.
She give him a Southern bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
I love that, and I love that my wife is hardcore enough to stand in line and grab whatever game I want. So.
Yeah, I like I said, it's been a wave of different, like, just playing with a few friends to playing the CCGs to playing with all you guys, and like tons of fun things, but really the Dice Master time was huge for me. And Ethan played with me, and so Ethan, 12-year-old Ethan, wearing his fedora, 100% attitude, 100% confidence in every game he lined up. And because it was a dice rolling game, he trucked some adults. He beat the European world champ who flew over for the world champion, or European national, which is hilarious. The guy's coming over, he's crying, he's telling me, I can't believe I just lost to your son in the top 16. How old is he? I'm like, he's 12.
Yeah.
And
Bravo,
there was
son.
the one year I took it to the top world's match, lost the match. Ethan's like on my, like, I remember seeing where he was, and he's watching super close, and it'd been a full day, and I lost. I knew I was going to lose because it was all about who went first. Right? And so we finished the match, and I turn around, Ethan is in the chair. Oh, it is. He's in the chair, and he's crying. Like, he's just sobbing for me. And I go over and I pick him up and like pull him to the side. He's like, what, why are you crying? He's like, Dad, you lost. I'm so sad, and you shouldn't have lost. And we talked about, you either win or you lose and you learn. And, we talked about what it means to be a gracious loser, what it means to win, what it means to be a gracious winner. And like, it was this awesome, like, father-son moment that kind of encapsulated how, like, gaming is such a big part of our lives. Like, for him and I, like, he's so excited to come to Origin. He's so excited to go to Gen Con. Right. And like, I'm very well aware that is not a privilege that a lot of people get to have with their
absolutely
18-year-old son who just wants to come hang out with me and my nerd friends because he loves
That's super cool.
The interaction, right? He loves Bob. Like, AJ and Derek drove 5+ hours to go to his graduation party we just had this weekend.
Cool, man.
Like, the relationships that I've developed because of things like Origins have impacted my whole family.
100%.
Right? And that has weight, and that has volume, and like, and it means a lot. So like, I'm giving you the sappy versions this year, but
No, that's good.
But yeah, so I'm excited this year. He's excited. We're gonna be slinging some games with Chad for a little bit, and
That's super cool.
I get my new shirt, Chad.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice shirt.
He's
thank you.
Yeah, he's an awesome kid. Like he's just super cool kid. And so I'm excited to have him helping demo in the booth and stuff. It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome.
He's we played what did we just play with him? Oh, I just taught him French Quarter, and he rolled us hard.
So good.
Oh man,
I taught it to some friends over last week. We went to like some of these beach house. They had invited us because they were like, "Hey, you want to come with us?" We were like, "Free beach house? Heck yeah!"
Absolutely.
So we went with them, and I brought French Quarter because they had seen my friendly neighborhood board gamer. They were like, that French Quarter game sounds fun. I was like, I'll bring it with me. So I taught them French Quarter, and they love it. They were over Saturday. They were like, can we play French Quarter again? I was like, heck yeah, let's play. So really
absolutely. Good. Speaking of food, right, that really didn't have anything to do with food. Speaking of beignets,
French Quarter's got food.
Yeah, it's got beignets and lobsters, I think, in there. What is your good food tip? Good food tips for convention season for Origins specifically, or just in general, like good ideas, good thoughts, good food.
I'm like the worst person to ask.
Chad's like, just let me eat.
Yeah, I'm usually like, whatever I pass on the hallway running from like the convention, like the hall to like a meeting or something. Like, but I mean, from just like a overall thing, I think I like to get away from like the center proper as much as I can. I think, whether it's, in Columbus, sometimes we'll hop an Uber, for a mile or two, go Half-Hearted Brewery, or we go to like that taco place, whatever. Just something that's just, at Gen Con, we always go to like this church, brew pub thing and the arcade bar and stuff. So I just like to get away from the center just because it's just nice to like decompress and get somewhere at a restaurant that's just not right there where it's just packed and it's just a bunch of convention people just trying to rush in there and eat and stuff and get back to doing whatever they're doing. You can just go check out and just hang out and not feel like you're at a convention. You're just hanging out with friends and stuff.
Sure.
That's the big thing for me at night. So it just makes me like, I feel like I can decompress for a little bit and then go back and play some games and hang out and stuff. But like, I just feel like after working all day at the booth and just having a talk and just be standing and just on for 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is, it's just nice to like not have to like worry about that.
Sure.
Just decompress for an hour or two.
I would say 2 tips. The Happy Greek is on that main strip near the convention center. It's inexpensive Greek food, fantastic. It has an outdoor patio area out back, which when it's nice out, like the past couple of years, that first or second night, we usually go to Happy Greek just because it's just chill and the weather's not like super hot. And so they got some great Greek food over there. And then the other one is North Market. Get the pierogies over at North Market. Delicious. So, but North Market's still under repair, right? They're still
I think so, but I think it's open. I think it's
you
just
can still get inside there.
You just have to walk around to the front, opposite side from the center to go in that door. That's how it was last year. I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah. I mean, North Market's a great tip for us. Like, it's been just trying to find and explore some different places, like Chad said, they're kind of off of the main block. Like, we try and hit Barley's the day we get there, because after that, you don't want to go wait for Barley's because it's right across the hall from the convention center. So everybody's trying to get in there. The one we always end up with that will go this year is down at the chicken place at the Eagle, and getting some amazing food there is kind of my go. But for me personally, with any convention, right, wherever we go, and we did this when we were at Tantrum Con, we'll do this at all these, is find a new place if you can each time, right? Like we're going back to PAX West, Ethan and I, in the fall to do the video game things. That's what he really enjoys. And I just loved it because the food in Seattle was ridiculous. And every time we go to Philly, the food there is amazing. The cheesesteaks and stuffed pickles, or what is it? It was pretzel stuffed pickles, pickle stuffed pretzels.
What?
Pretzel stuffed pickles. It was a whole dill pickle with a whole pretzel wrapped around it.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Amazing. All right. So yeah, we eat well in Philly. I'm excited, Chad, that you're going to get to check out Philly for the first time this year at PAX. Yeah, it's a great con. Yo, Mr. Petrie.
I haven't had a pretzel.
That's cool.
Wrapped around a pickle before.
I feel like
we have like a corn dog batter.
Yeah, it was pickle and then pretzel around it.
I feel like the pickle would be too moist.
Pickles are already wet, dude. Like,
yeah, nobody hates it.
Moisture can a pickle get?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that like it, everything else absorbs the pickles like wet. Okay.
I mean, nobody hates a moist pickle, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, next question. I have to go back to this. What is a good piece of advice for new Origins attendees? So somebody's going for the first time. What's your advice? What would you tell them?
It's me again. I feel like it's
yes, sir.
You just blank stare, and I'm like, oh damn, I gotta talk again. So, I mean, I think with any convention, I think it's probably. I think you can fall into a pitfall, like a trap of feeling like you have to go in and block every hour, every day with things. Like, I got to be somewhere. I got to be here. I got to be here. I got to be here. And I think you just kind of like chase the clock for 4 days straight because you feel like you don't want to have downtime because you're like, what am I going to do in downtime? But like, I think if you over-index your planned events, it can burn you out. And you feel like it's just rushed and you don't actually just get to just enjoy the other aspects of being at a convention, which is just being able to casually stroll and just wander the exhibit hall, just casually sit down and walk across the street and have a beer with friends or whatever. Like there's more aspects to it than just, 100% nonstop calendar. Right.
I think some of my favorite times have been me and Aaron sitting there after we've been through a lot of the exhibit hall on a Thursday and just knowing that we're hitting a wall and sitting down, eating, and just playing a small game at a table and then saying, okay, now we're ready to go back. And so I think my advice would be when you go to the exhibit hall, don't try to see everything right away. Just walk through, take notes of the things you want to come back to, and then come back as you want to. I think that's sometimes I know the first time I went to Origins, I tried to methodically go through every single booth and like, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? And I got about a quarter of the way into it and I was just mentally exhausted. Taking notes and filming stuff and taking photos, talking to people, handing out cards. So now I approach it a lot differently. I go up and down. I'm like, come back to this, set up appointments, and then come back when I can. So,
or just block out, like, how am I hit the first 8 aisles today? I'll do the next.
Yeah.
I think Origins is large. Like
it's
but
doable.
It's also deceptive in that you feel like you can move around, right? So you feel like you can go walk and see everything. Unlike Gen Con, where it's so crowded, like you just have to have like a game plan, right?
It's chaos at Gen Con.
And Gen Con's at the booth side, you see people because you have to do it. And for the people that are there for certain things or want to go to certain things, like I'll see them walk up to the booth. They pull their piece of paper out and they or Excel sheet and they look at what booth am I at? Okay. And then they read off, I need this, and this. And then and they check them off their list and they're on to the next thing because they're on a mission because they want to make sure they hit certain things. And they'll do it all the first day, and then they might come back and wander around. Sometimes you see them come back and wander through to browse other things on another day because they were just trying to rush through it on the first day just to get exactly what they want and get out of there. But Origins is deceptive because you don't have that like mass flood of people, and you feel like you can't walk the whole floor, But split it up. I mean, if you're there for 4 days, the reason why you got to do 8 hours of hall walking on Thursday as opposed to being there on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, we did a series a while back on tips for a convention, and the big one is the 3-2-1 rule, right? For any type of convention, it's minimum 3 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day.
Minimum 3 hours of sleep.
Minimum.
So that'd be like the 6-2-1 rule or something. 3 hours, dude.
Yeah.
No way I could get
No,
through
3 hours. 3 hours is a sleep cycle.
Nope.
Minimum 3. And so essentially, don't try and 24-hour it because people are doing that, right? So minimum 3 hours.
Maracaibo at 5 a.m. Right?
It's one sleep cycle. 3 is all you really need, if we're being honest. 6 is like exuberant amount of sleep. So 3, 2 meals. So try and eat twice during the day. Don't try and and again, like
I agree with that.
Rules we set in that CCG world. Bob recently experienced this because you're playing game after game after game after game, like you did at Lorcana, and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't bring food, I didn't bring enough water, I didn't bring enough any of this. So trying to make plans, right, or trying to prepare to eat twice a day, and take 1 shower a day, even if you normally don't.
Yes,
you're gonna be walking, you're gonna be sweating, and be around a lot of people. Those are 100%. Basic con rules. Get your sleep, get your food, get your body clean. As a and you can tell in certain areas for the people that are not following those rules.
And sometimes they'll tell you, funny story, first small gaming weekend that we went to as a channel, we are hanging out, and me and Rick are playing some games and having a good time.
Which con?
I don't know.
Or
no, I don't know if this person would know if they're around that area anymore. So it was in Atlanta. It was a small gaming weekend in Atlanta. So we go up there and we're hanging out, and me and Rick are talking, and we get in on a game from a new design, indie developer, and we're sitting there about to start play, and this guy sits down and he's like, man, it's been a great weekend. We're like, it really has been. And he brags to us. He says, yeah, I mean, this whole thing was just like the cost of coming here. And I was like, oh, you live in the area? He's like, no, like about 11, 12 o'clock, like nobody's around here. So I sleep behind that planter over there.
Oh,
and put my book bag over my head, and they don't catch me. I'm like, are you serious? He had been wearing the same clothes all weekend and sleeping beside the planter.
I mean, there were probably bathrooms.
Fun times.
Yeah, get a quick change and a quick clean.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. So
all right.
Yeah.
So there's that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. There we go, Rick.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the Rick.
I do recall Rick.
You remember
I guess
this?
I want to admit it. It was Rick. It was
Rick. Oh, that makes more sense.
It's Rick. That's why I didn't want to say.
So. Now I understand. Yeah. So our last convention specific question was something you've never done at a board game convention, but you'd love to try. Chad, you're first.
Not work it.
Walk the exhibit hall. I think that's probably one. I mean, even I will duck away. Like, I'm pretty much just, I'm just booth bound the whole time, right? I mean,
for sure.
We're a pretty lean ship, and I just have to be there, the whole show. But occasionally I'll be like, okay, look, we're slow for a second. I need 5 minutes, and I go run my booth, go hit a booth and come back. But I never just get to leisurely just wander the hall and just check out all the new stuff, which would be because I don't go to conventions for fun, right? Like I don't go if I don't have to be there for like where I'm working. Like if I'm going to go to hang out, I can go work, right? So that's that's a luxury that I haven't had the opportunity to experience. To just wander the hall and check out stuff. But
if you want me and Aaron will sit at your booth, stand at your booth.
And I just like everybody walks out the back. Sorry.
No.
line. Nothing's here. Go ahead.
He's already got Bob and I there. He doesn't need to add more.
Yeah, I've already got 2 people that I'm worried about. The one walking
more shenanigans.
I don't need Brian to scare anybody off.
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking for. Oh, nope, never mind.
Do you need games and a hug?
Ryan, how about yourself? What have you never done?
I have done this before. Rick and I were in a funny story. Rick and I were in a tournament. We did a Codenames tournament at Atlanta Game Fest one year, and Rick and I thought that we would be very good with being on the same team. We've known each other a very long time, and we're both pretty decent at Codenames on our own. Come to find out that the 2 of us together are terrible at Codenames. We killed ourselves in both of the first 2 of 3 games in the first round, we assassinated ourselves. And so it was really, really good. So that's the only tournament that I've ever been in. But I'd like to get into like a tournament that doesn't last too long. I worry about signing up for tournaments because I don't want to be locked into 6 to 7 hours in a room during a convention.
You just got to enter tournaments where you know you're going to get beat in the first round. Then you can say
that's
you
true.
did it, you can leave.
That's
and
true.
There you go.
So.
Like Isaac with Dice Masters for 5 straight years.
Oh, Isaac.
Good thing I was muted.
There we go.
Yeah, so something I've never done any of the like the True Dungeon or the like escape room LARPing, that type of. It seems like it would be fun if you had the right group. There was pre-COVID, again, when we had our group that we hung out and just played Dice Masters, we had a group of about 20 of us who did laser tag. I don't know if you were there when they did laser tag at Origins. They had one of the ballrooms where they remember where they did the video game stuff for a couple of years. One of those ballrooms they had converted in this giant laser tag with lasers and smoke, and it was a ton of fun. Like we had a blast just running around shooting each other, sweating up a storm. And they did it till like 3 a.m. so we like did it so late. It was awesome, but they've never brought it back. So another thing we can talk about that's not Origins related is 25th Century related.
25th Century games. I've heard of them. Isaac, why don't you tell me a little?
I have heard of them as well. They have a Kickstarter currently, well funded, and down to how many days are we at?
Ends Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I think. So however many days that is.
So about 3-4 days here. So Jay, do you want to tell everybody kind of what is currently on the Kickstarter and a little bit about these games?
Yeah. I mean, I won't take too much time, but so real quick. So this is one we're trying something a little bit different. Although I have done it before for a couple of expansions, but trying a multiple game Kickstarter. So we've got really, and it's they all kind of, they're paired how they are for a reason, because they're all kind of hit similar weight, right? So like anyone who might like one of these games, the other ones are equally as approachable and something that that same person might want to put on their table. Of course, you don't have to get all 4, but you can. You get a little bigger savings and save more on shipping that way. But you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, mix and match, however you want to do it. But the 4 games we've got on there, I'll do them in alphabetical order. So Big Sur is one of them. This is designed by Mondo Davis, who I already worked with before on Colorfield, and then illustrated by Tristram Rawson. So it's you're basically building out. It's a multi-use card game. So it's you are drafting cards and then using those cards to either spend those cards for the resource value or build one of those cards into your tableau. You're basically building a stretch of the California highway and adding different landmarks that are real life landmarks around those cards for additional scoring opportunities. But it's a little bit of an engine builder, and definitely like a resource kind of tableau builder. Very clever design, but it's compact. You saw the box size, and pretty inexpensive at sub $20. That's the first one.
We took it on the cruise with us. Loved playing that on the cruise.
Oh yeah, there you go. And it's portable, right? So it's 100 cards, right? So next one, let's see, alphabetical order would be bigger box. So this one would be Grand Central Skyport, which is Andrew Bosley art. So here,
beautiful art.
Screen, I can hold it up. Designed by Dan Germain. He's a first-time designer. But someone you're definitely going to hear his name multiple times this year.
That's cool.
A really big project coming up with another large publisher. Very clever game. This is a spatial puzzle game. So it's all set like in like a retrofuturism, 19th century type of a world. Almost steampunk-ish, but a little more retrofuturism than steampunk. But the core, that Grand Central Skyport there in the middle, is the Rondell drafting mechanism. So that's how you go pick up airships or draft different tycoons, or give you special abilities, or add more station blocks. But the game itself is played in front of you with a tableau. Basically building, it's an abstract spatial puzzle where you've got balloons coming in on the left or the right. those balloons trigger other movements in your line, and so you're kind of constantly trying to move and pivot balloons of different colors to align themselves next to stations of certain colors or next to tycoons, or leveraging tycoon abilities to do additional manipulation. But it's just constant, ever-changing kind of spatial puzzle you're trying to solve in front of you as you keep adding more and more balloons to your own personal skyport.
And it is a tough puzzle. It's a tough puzzle. You want to get it so perfect, but it's almost impossible to get it perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, you're just sitting there racking your brain. You're like, I can move this, but I can't move this, and then this one's in the wrong space. And yeah,
it's clever. It's really clever.
It really is.
Next one up would be what's on the screen there. Just to give you an idea of box size. This is Sand Art. This one is not a roll and write, not like a flip and write. It's kind of a move and fill game, I guess. It really doesn't have like a
fill. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a move and color game. What's really interesting about it is the movement mechanism is you basically took a rondelle and you just flattened it down to like a linear path with a top and a bottom on that path. You're basically moving back and forth. If you have to go one direction, wherever you stop and take that action, you have to turn and go back the opposite direction. So it's just like rubber band rondelle, where you're basically moving. You're kind of trying to move back and forth along this line, while other people are also moving back and forth and blocking spaces and things of that nature. But you're basically picking up different colors of sand, adding them to your supply, and then using the sand in your supply to actually fill up your bottle. That's where the coloring aspect comes in. So you're creating these layers with different kind of patterns to score additional points and reach certain objectives. But it's the movement piece there, and actually even how the bottle is designed from like a coloring standpoint to get the lines to cross in certain ways is really clever. This was by designer Corey Jordan and Sarah Kelly did the artwork for this one.
Yeah, Bob said he is terrible at this game. So
Bob is not good at spatial puzzle games.
No,
it's hard. It's way harder than it seems like it should be in a good way. But it's not like I'm just gonna color. Like, no, this is a challenging, puzzly game.
That's cool.
So that's that one. The fourth one is small box again, just like Big Sur. This one is called Wine Cellar. So small box here. This is a pure auction. So it's a pure bidding game. Designed by Andrew Stiles. This is his first game as well. He's also someone you're going to hear more and more games from. He's got a lot of stuff in the works. But Andrew Stiles design, and then Vincent Dutrait did the artwork here. But if you've played pure light bidding games like a For Sale, for example, this will kind of feel like it's not a similar like vein and like weight class to something like that. But
it's such a good
Like you've got these bottle cards, which are really clever. You can see there, the bottle cards themselves have 8 different slots on them with different numbers. You're going to play 8 rounds. So each person is going to get dealt a set of 8 wine bottles, random. You're going to start with the equal number of players in the game, and you're using the top left-hand corner number there as your bid value. So you're just simultaneously just bidding, and that's the selection order for which bottles you take. Whatever bottle you take for your cellar gets turned down on its side, like a bottle of wooden cellar, and you have to put that bottle either above or below the other bottles you've already collected. You can't slot them in the middle. And what you're going to end up with is a stack of 8 different bottles top down, and those 8 boxes are the bottle numbers. That's how it's going to score. It's going to score them diagonally. Basically, the far left number is round 1. The far right number is bottle 8, not round, but bottle. So that's your bottle scoring. And there's other objective cards you have for different countries you're looking for, different varietals. But Andrew Stiles is like is a wine sommelier as well. So he's like it's a topic he knows a lot about.
Nice.
Every single wine in the game is unique. He wrote tasting notes for every single wine bottle. So
that's cool.
So the flavor text piece is really interesting, but also it's a game that plays up to 8 players, and it plays in about 15 to 20 minutes.
It hits really the table.
8-player non-party game.
Yep.
Wine Cellar hits the table every single week around here. My kids, actually, all 3 of my kids love it. My youngest, who's 16, she loves Wine Cellar so much. I think it's her favorite game. So
that's awesome.
She loves that game.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, and like I
Play
said,
the games, can't drink it.
Yeah. So
yeah, we've had a chance to play them all, and expose them out. Like you said, I think there's a beauty that none of them seem odd on like playtime and like difficulty. Like they all feel like you said, if you like one of these probably all sit in a game style that you'll enjoy.
Yeah,
as far as difficulty goes. So in Sandart, like the price you have on that thing, like, man, you're getting a lot of games.
Yeah, that box is huge, and there's a lot in there. Yeah,
it's a gorgeous
the pad
game.
that's in there, like a ream of paper. I think they messed up though. When I got it, I was like, "How many pads you put in this thing?" And it's like 150. It's like a ream. I'm like,
yeah,
no. It's just like twice as many as it should have been.
That's
like I picked it up when I got the prototypes, and it like weighed a ton. I'm like, "What is in this?"
Yeah, it's a brick. It's a brick.
It's just a brick of paper.
That's funny. So.
Well, very exciting. Well, Ryan put a link in the chat notes to get on there. You got a chance to continue to back this up until Friday and get a 4-pack of games for a ridiculously great deal.
It's such a good deal. Yep. Rick said doing the editing and spell checking on all those wines was a task.
Yeah, I can see where that would be the case.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go to that Game Chat Presents Pick 5.
So, you got the graphic?
Is there a graphic?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a theme song?
There we go.
There is a graphic.
No, there's no graphic.
Yeah, there is. I just shared it.
Where?
It's share screen.
Share screen. Oh, this is a graphic.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh. What is happening? This is me and you in our masks at Origins one year. This is us sideways in a boardroom. That's me holding a turkey on Thanksgiving.
The Game Chat presents Pick 5.
Yeah, Pick 5. I like it. Professional image.
I'll keep working on it since you did it.
I think you've hit it right on the head.
I might do a little more with it. We'll see.
It needs a jingle.
Don't polish it too much. So
I'll run it through AI. I'll run it through AI a couple times.
See what happens. There we go. See what happens. All right.
So these are Pick 5 games that you can play at a convention. These are not the best 5, the top 5, or the only 5. These are just 5 games we'd suggest you get out if you are playing some games at a convention. So start with Chad. Just what's the game and why do you like it?
All right. So only because we first started playtesting it at a convention with like a table of like 40 people at one time. I'm going to say green team wins.
Green team wins.
I know. No shame. So green team wins. Basically, as long as you got paper and pencil, whatever, you can scale the game almost to any number of people.
Yep.
Brian and I played it at a Southern Pride Game Expo with a group, 50 people or so.
It was fun.
But yeah, it's super fast. You can teach someone. Literally, it's just like, hey, just listen to the first question. I'll tell you how to score, and then you know how to play. Which is great for a convention because you can teach it in 10 seconds flat.
Absolutely.
And it supports a large number of people, which is also great at conventions. Like I don't have time to go sit and play a 4-hour game at a convention. So for me, I just have a little bit of time at night, and so I just like quick stuff and stuff that's like inclusive that we can get. Anyone can walk up and sit down and play. So green team, and then I'll self-plug a second time. So green team holiday party is a new green team coming out at Gen Con this year. It's all holiday themed questions. It's
really good.
Super excited for that. Can I tell you a fun, quick story? Green team, we played it at Ethan's grad party with a group of people and friends I've been playing it with for years. And the first question came through. There were 6 people on the green team, and he goes, okay, before we answer this, green team, we really got to think about our answers. So we stay in the green team. I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody has a chance to be in the green team or orange team now. He's like, no, that's not how this game works. I'm like, oh my gosh, how wrong have you been playing this game? And so they thought the green team had to stay as the green team. And then if they weren't as the majority, then it all broke up. I'm like, I don't even know where you're getting those rules from.
The
rule pages, and they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I am 1,000,000%
We've been playing it for so many years.
Like, get out of here.
It's almost like a weird, like reverse blob party at that point.
Yeah. That's
stay in.
That's hilarious.
We got it.
So plays 8. This one Splitto taught it so many times last year at Origins and had a lot of fun teaching it. Shannon DeWitt of Atlanta is terrible at this game, and he'll tell you that. So Shannon, if you see this later, I know you're terrible at this game. Do not sit him next to Preston because they will both lose. We found that out. Splitto's so good, plays 8, plays quick. It's one of those games that you play it, people jump in, jump out, play it again. It's fun.
Just have a good time.
New printing of that one, by the way. So Ron made a really excellent how to play video for Splitto on the one we're filming channel. The QR code that was in it wasn't updated for the first printing, but it goes to the original publisher's website. But the second printing that's leaving the factory now, the QR code will have Ryan's how to play video on it. So
that's awesome.
Very nice.
If you don't know how to play it, Ryan will gladly teach you virtually.
I'll teach. There we go. Or I'll just show up at your house.
Or
ding dong.
Hey, I've been showing up at houses. Follow our YouTube channel. See where I can show up next.
A game I waited far too long to play and enjoy far too much is Werewords.
So good.
What a great party. Easy to play. Tons of people like Chad was saying, it can be inclusive. You can get a bunch of people around the table to play this thing. If you like Werewolf but you're tired of it, Werewords is the way to go. Always go Impossible Words also.
I feel like One Night Ultimate Werewolf was my favorite version of Werewolf because there's no elimination, right? And it's short.
Yeah.
But there's also it's hard to be a first-time player of even One Night Ultimate Werewolf because it's so just wide open. It's like, oh, you lift your head up and then it's just a dialogue for 5 minutes, right? Which is for a lot of people, it's just hard to grasp. Werewords is just questions just firing off, and it's a little easier to pick up, I think.
It really is.
To you, number 2.
Oh,
I have 6 new restraining orders this week.
Wow.
Speaking of doorbells, there's going to be another one coming on Wednesday.
Ooh, maybe it's announcing the podcast I was in.
Never.
Ryan's neighbors are going to hate him. So again, I'm shameless. This one's coming out this year at Gen Con. It's called Sausage Sizzle. It is.
I've seen this.
It is there's an old game. This is from Inca and Marcus Brand, who very prolific designers. They all like the escape room games and a lot of stuff. Sponsored by Ring. So there's this old game came out from Cosmos probably 10 years ago. I think it was only printed in Germany and only available in German. And it was called Würfelwurst. And very simple dice checking game. I'd never even heard of it. Like one night, Ian and I were working on something, tool, and he just got back from convention. He's like, "Oh, I got to play Würfelwurst off and on all weekend, which I love playing at conventions." And I'm like, "What did you just say? Like, what is that?" And so I tried on a copy of it, and so got it, played it, and it's a very light dice chucking game. Everyone's like yelling at you to like roll like sausages and like bust and stuff in it, but it's super quick. It takes about 20 minutes to play with a group of 5 or so. There it is. That's the original one. And it's just chaotic, stupid, silly fun. And so I immediately was like, I've got to find this game and
nice.
Get the rights and make it. And Ian's like, if you can get the rights and make this game, like I will do the artwork, which is very much not like Ian's usual.
If you can get Ian to just be like, I'll do the artwork.
Yeah. He's like, I'll do the artwork.
So cool.
Make this game.
It's cute artwork too.
That is really cool.
So it's all Australian animals, and so sausage sizzle is an Australian term for like a very specific type of like barbecue cookout. So nice. Anyway, so it's a ton of fun. It plays up to 5, so it's not a massive party game, but it's a short enough game and it's quick enough to teach. People can hop in and out and play.
That's really cool. I like that.
It's a really fun game. So I'll bring a copy to Origins. We can play, and it'll be available at Gen Con.
That's awesome. So, speaking of Cosmos, Inside Job, one of my favorite trick-taking games. I actually saw Inside Job on I think Polygon or IGN article where one of their favorite trick takers is Inside Job. And I felt very validated because I've been hyping this thing up since it came out. I love this game. One person at the table is a insider, and they are trying to win or keep the rest of the team members from winning and completing the missions. Everything's always shifting, and the game comes with a bunch of different insider cards. So if you don't like lying games or bluffing games, you can actually play different ways, and they're actually really, really fun. It's not just like it's a bluffing game and that's it. There's like 7 different ways to play. So it's fantastic.
Very nice. Speaking of bluffing games, and my favorite pickup from Gen Con last year, and that is a Spicy. Spicy is so mean, so aggressive, so much fun around the table. We've been playing it with all the variant rules. This thing is nuts. It always brings out the aggression at the table, which I love because it's just in that amount of time. Then we put it away, move on to something else.
There we go.
I am terrible at that game too. Like every time I say something, they're like, bullshit, whatever, and I'm like, oh,
they call you on it.
Spicy. Number 3, sir.
Oh, I'm gonna say it before Isaac does.
Don't you do it? It's my next one. Oh,
here it is.
Hamster roll.
So a hamster roll. So this was first played by me at a convention. So actually Origins, and I think every convention for the next 2-3 years after that. So thanks to Isaac bringing this random weird dexterity game. And so I tried on a copy of it right when I got back home. The first time I played it, had to find a copy, got it. And then fast forward a few years, and I'm like, why? This game
why
should
am
be
I
available.
not publishing it? Yeah.
So contacted Zote Games in Germany, and so we got a new version coming out this fall, be available at Gen Con. So
That's
very
great.
excited for that. Yeah, it's
awesome.
You look at it and you're like, I'm not going to play this. And you play it and you're like, can we play this again? Can we play it again? It's just
yeah. So
that's a great time. Chaos.
This one's been hard to find for a little bit this year. Forest Shuffle. Forest Shuffle's so fun. Do you not like it?
I'm struggling to find a copy of this.
Oh, really? Okay. I got this.
Struggling the entire year.
So I called Level Up Games in Atlanta, and I told them, I said, you're coming to Dice and Diversions. Please bring a copy of this game. They were like, sure, we'll bring 1 copy of the game. And I was like, I will buy as many copies as you have. And so he brought 2 copies. They sold one to me, sold to somebody else. He came back the next day and brought more copies, and they sold out within 5 seconds of putting it on the shelf. And they were completely sold out.
To find.
It's so good. And we play it all the time, and I'm going to love putting it on the table with some of my convention friends.
Yeah. It's the mini Arc Nova, right? You get that feel, but in a much more compact.
Yes.
Someday I'll find it.
I'll bring it so you can play it.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to introduce it to some of our locals. My next one was my 2023 party game of the year, and that's Blob Party. Blob Party is a blast. It's silly. It's fun. It is the most cooperative party game I play, and I use this as a tool. We use this with a group of small group leaders at our church, and to help them to hey, here's a way to get the awkward conversations out of the way, because you're going to end up blobbing with people you don't know, and you're going to have to agree on something. And it's I played this with, gosh, I don't remember how many we played at Origins last year. We had a ton of people.
Yeah.
Where poor
25 or so, 25.
Poor Matt kept getting left out over.
That was like the last one to try to assimilate.
So some people they're not meant to blob, but
there we go.
But it's
also a game that is a convention game, right?
100%.
It's not a game you can play if you've got 3 or 4 people over one night for game night. You need a group.
Yeah, you need a group. Yeah.
Well, and when we have 3 or 4 families together and the kids and adults all want to play, this is one we'll get out, because we got 15, 16 people trying to play a game.
Yep. Yeah, Rick, you should come to Origins with us.
So. Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, Rick used to come to Origins.
Number 4.
Rick used to be cool.
Rick used to be cool.
Never.
We knew him when he was cool.
Well, so I was going to keep shamelessly plugging that Ron already stole that one from me.
That's perfect.
So I will go to my next one next to me, also coming out. Maybe I'll
Crap! You stole my new one.
Oh, so good. I don't know
See,
where my copy is.
Mojo is so good.
So it
is.
also plays just like Splitto. It's
Yep.
3 to 8. There's this 2-player variant, but it definitely shines with 3 to 8, just like Splitto does.
I'm so bad at it.
Basically it's hard to explain. It's kind of like it's like a ladder, like a ladder game, but it's bi-directional ladder. So it's kind of like Uno in a way. You're just trying to get rid of all your cards, but the scoring mechanism of it is where it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because once you get down to a certain number of cards, you start triggering the end game, and the rounds start winding down.
Yeah.
And you're only and the cards themselves, spread across. The high numbers are all kind of grouped in a color, and so the colors are blocks based on like from 0 up to 12. And so you only are going to score the highest number in each color block at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So if I've got 5 10s in my hand, it's only going to be worth 10 points. So someone else could have a 2, a 4, a 6, and actually have a higher score than me, even though I've got higher numbered cards, because I was able to block them together and like at the end of the game just only have that number. So it's a game we'll have it at Origins at the booth. It releases later in July, but
Mojo is so good. So.
Yeah, it's super fast too, so it's a good con game for that.
My camera is about to die. My fourth one was Mojo. So
perfect.
All right.
So my fourth one is It's not mechanisms. I'm kidding. My fourth one is palm trees. Palm trees.
Oh, no.
My fourth, my actual fourth one is Super Mega Lucky Box, and palm trees. Super Mega Lucky Box is Gamers Bingo. It's the easiest way to describe it. You get a bunch. I have 2 copies of the game in here, so play up to 12 people at the same time, and it works seamlessly with 20 people at the same time. You have one person be the dedicated caller. Everybody else is playing it through. It's great. It's easy. It's quick. It's a blast. Classic for cons. And number 5.
Number 5.
Before Ryan dies on us.
Yeah.
Mechanisms.
So,
Mechanisms by Derek Funkhouse.
Mechanisms. Coming to a local store never.
He gave me his copy. That's my copy.
That's your copy?
Yeah, he gave it to me.
Oh, you get it?
This is legit. Like, I have a copy of it. He gave it to me this weekend. It's his copy.
Oh, wow.
He just told me I could keep it, and we're going to republish it. I'm going to make him republish this game.
Are you publishing it? You just grab random game parts from your box.
I've got a box of garbage parts.
I do it right.
All right. So my last one, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to show multiple, and they're not available anywhere. So
Jerk.
But if you see me at a convention, so Origins or Gen Con, whatever, we're playing games, I will have them on me, and we will play them. There are 3 different new party games that will be coming out all next year. But
I know 2.
I have them. Here they are.
I think I know 2.
So we've got vanity plates where you're making custom license plates. A lot of fun by Clarence.
Like you do in prison.
Love that box cover.
Yeah, it's a trip to prison, just like the show. Bullseye.
Yes.
Yep. Bullseye.
Which is Grace Kendall and Mike Belso. This is a cooperative party game where you're trying to guess words based on a clue, but everyone else is giving clues 1 letter at a time. But you pass the clue thing around, so you don't necessarily know what.
I'm terrible at this game.
Was trying to leave as a clue, and you're like, I don't know what this is, but you got to write a letter down and keep moving. But a lot of fun. Bullseye. And then last but not least is from Nathan Thornton.
Red letter, yellow letter. Yes.
So
He did Green Team Wins. So this is called Red Letter, Yellow Letter. It's got a thing for colors. This is like a speed kind of party game where you've got a category and you've got a letter that the word must start with and a letter that your answer must not contain. It's the first person to shot on answer and get it right gets to get rid of a token and turn over a card for the next round, and you just play until you run out of tokens. So it's kind of loud and chaotic. So I got those 3.
That's cool.
Speaking of loud and chaotic, I don't have it on me, but Mutton Bustin' releases this summer.
Mutton Bustin',
which is like Happy Salmon meets.
I thought I grabbed
meets something. It's sheep riding with kids, but it's basically like a speed dice rolling meets Happy Salmon. I guess is probably a good way to put it. A lot of fun.
Good old mutton busting.
So that'll be available at Origins, by the way.
Nice. I got to go with some 7-player Great Split. Weberson Santiago did the artwork. Great Split. So much fun. I really love this game. And anytime I can get 7 people around the table, I'm playing Great Split. It's so fun.
Awesome. My last is a classic that I'm just introduced people to Tantrum Con for the first time and planning on bringing it to Origins is Sid Saxon's I'm the Boss. This game is nasty.
You're determined to ruin people's lives, aren't you?
This game is mean. It's aggressive. It's no holds barred. You play one game, which I've learned my lesson. You don't play back-to-back games with the same people. You play one game and then you put it back in the box. And it is aggressive. It's ugly. It's a Sid Saxon classic. Yeah. Even the redo by Eagle Griffin, it still looks like a 1980s game. Yeah. But man, it's a wheeling, dealing, negotiating, want to murder your friends kind of game.
That's awesome.
Chad, have you played it?
So I showed up too late. And you guys had just started, I think, Tantrum, and so this year. Yeah, so we'll play it this year, Origins Dreamcon.
I did not play. I skipped out on it. I was
Ryan, you got to play.
I was playing Beast. So.
Ryan's too nice for it, I think.
No, Ryan's a jerk.
No, I'm a jerk. I'm a jerk. Somebody found that out the other day. We were playing a game. They were like, "Ryan, you were so mean," and I was like, "Yeah." So,
all right, finish strong. What are you playing? What's been hitting your table?
What are you playing?
I got to start again. It's always
it's always you.
I know. So I've been playing some of the prototypes or the ones on Kickstarter now. I'll show you one game I've been playing. I just got the prototypes in, so I was playing it earlier today, just with the new preview of prototypes, which will start going out soon, maybe to one or both of y'all. This will be coming up on the next Kickstarter. This is Raw and Right. So this is a
Raw and Right.
Raw.
So excited.
Hey, what's up, Paul? So this is coming out, doing a reprint of the deluxe edition of Raw. Mm-hmm. And so in that campaign, in addition to the deluxe reprint of Raw, we're going to have this Flip and Write version.
Raw and Write's fun.
So awesome. Deluxe Raw is the
bomb. He just came in this morning. So
that's super cool.
Put it on my table literally today just to give it a go. But
yeah, that's awesome. 2 games. I've been playing Agueda. I taught a couple people how to play Agueda last weekend, and then I had people who wanted to play it at game night this week, so we played it at game night. And then on top of that, people that came to my birthday game day, they wanted to hit the table 2 or 3 times in 2 days. And so
nice.
Agueda, so good, beautiful production. And then one more, Contra Banter. This one, I liked it far more than I thought I would. This one, you're trying to smuggle words. This is from Skybound Tabletop.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to smuggle words past the other team, and you're basically telling nonsense stories or really good stories, trying to smuggle specific words so that they don't know that those are the words. It's actually really fun.
Interesting.
So Aaron is terrible at it.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be awful at it, but I absolutely want to play it.
Yeah, I'm bringing it with me to. Old Sport Guy, you played it with us.
Because I figure Matt will be around at Origins too, so we can play with it.
Yes. I'll bring it with us, and we'll play it.
But you'll have it. Speaking of new party games, for 2024, releasing, I believe, at Origins or Gen Con from Wacky Wizard Games. Derek brought me a copy, Caution Signs, and I thought, it's going to be like most of the other party drawing.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Okay.
It's a 20-second. Everybody has 20 seconds to draw, and then you're trying to figure out what people's clues were based on their drawing. It's like it works similar to like a you get more points if like Dixit, you want to get like a max points or low middle points or no points. And so it's actually when you want to keep score on as you're going. You go once around the table.
That's cool.
Everybody draws all the time, and you guess once, and it was a blast. We played it with 10 people. It's hilarious trying to decipher 20-second drawings because nobody draws amazing in 20 seconds.
Yeah. So, that's super cool.
But I'll have that one with me as well.
I've seen Scott and thing up, promoting it all spring. So that's one I definitely want to pick up. And
I'll be banging the drum for this one for this year. So
we'll
I'll bring that one for sure.
Awesome.
Sweet. So where can they find you, Chad?
Yeah, like not hard to find. I think the website has all the links if you need them. But yeah, pretty
Sometimes
much
we
any
just
of the
say
major
Chad.
social
Yeah.
channels. You can find us there.
Sometimes we just say Chad's name and he shows up. So
Beetlejuice.
yeah. One Board Family, all over the place at oneboardfamily.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see the next in the series of your friendly neighborhood board gamer. I've written out about 15 of those. And so they're coming all the way into the fall.
And Pinterest. You forgot your Pinterest account.
And my
yes,
Pinterest
and
account.
Pinterest. Yeah. You can find me at the 25th Century booth at Origins for a few hours. Yeah.
You're going to live there.
Yeah. TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, Pinterest, all of those things. Free. So no, not there, but just about everywhere else you can find us. We've got a review of Genotype coming up this week.
Nice.
And a couple new games from Bezier as well. So,
Sweet.
And if you go over to our TikTok, you can see our kind of heads up quick info on all of the Kickstarters that we talked about today.
That's cool. Also, announcement, Will It Game is coming back. Rick and I have some recording. Yeah, Will It Game has been on hiatus for a year. It is coming back, and it will be led with your episode. So,
Don't you give me hope.
No, I'm going to give you hope.
That's my Hawkeye line for you. Don't you dare give me hope.
So, anyway, it's coming. So
I'm excited.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Chad, thank you for being an awesome guest as always. And I really look forward to hanging out with you at Origins.
Yeah, man. See you guys in a week. It's going to be fun.
Adios. See you in a week. Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.